Good morning everyone, or good afternoon and good evening. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing fantastically well on this absolutely bitter cold Sunday. Okay, so I'm doing this video just as a quick update for you all today because there's been a bit of confusion and a bit of misunderstanding in my last video, which I'll probably tag up here somewhere or at the end of this video. Which is in relation to PIP vouchers and the mention of any changed benefits which may be coming from April 2025. A lot of you have commented and said you've been a bit confused, you've been a bit misunderstood, and that the information I've got may be incorrect. So I'm just here today to recap what was said, how I'm going to explain it, and hopefully without sounding rude or causing any offence here, I'm going to explain it in a level that you can understand in plain, simple English and not to be overwhelmed or too confused. So, as we all know, as a quick recap, the previous Tory government back in 2024 and previous to this actually decided that they were going to introduce many reforms to the benefit system, including replacing personal independence cash payments with PIP vouchers. Now, there was a massive outcry of this, obviously, as we all well know. A good sort of 78% of people actually responding to a questionnaire said that PIP vouchers would not work for them and would not actually be suitable for their particular disability or illness that they've got, which is fair, okay? There were also many disability charities out there and disability, news services, i.e. DNS themselves. They turned around and stated, look, this is going to be the final nail in the coffin for disabled people and it's going to cause a lot of problems, which, quite frankly, it would, okay? So they were still going to go ahead with this regardless, and then of course we had our general election in the UK, and the Labour Party came into power, and they basically said, we are not going to do any of this, but they didn't say it directly, okay? So bear with me on this one. The way the Labour Party kept saying that they were going to do things is that we were going to help disabled people, we will reach out to disabled people, we will ask them the questions, and we'll make sure that our benefit reforms will work for the disabled person. As we all well know, that politicians lie and don't have anything in it but for themselves, which seems to be the norm in the UK at the moment. But anyway, we move on. So the Labour Party, basically then said, okay, we're going to do our own reforms and we'll ask questions from you. And we're going to squash the Tory policy. The Tory policy was demeanouring, it was hateful, it wouldn't work for disabled people, and it's not what we're about. Fast forward 2 months later, we had our budget in the UK, and of course we found out that pensioners were then thrown under the firing line, or under the bus, shall we say, and they had their winter fuel allowance taken away from them, which again caused a massive outcry in the UK and pretty much angered the majority of the pensioners or people over retirement age. A good 90%, pretty much are going to not vote for Labour anymore, or Labour, however you want to call them, So, moving on, fast forward to where we are now, which was at the end of October and currently in November 2024. What they have stated is that, yes, they do not want to do the PIP proposals made by the previous Tory government, which would be to introduce vouchers per se. However, they're going to be looking at their own policies in depth. Now, what they tell you is one thing, what they tell the Department for Work and Pensions is an entirely different thing. We've had contact from multiple DWP agencies, or people within the actual agency, or business, if you want to call it that, which have stated to me in recent emails and messages that, look, Rich, we've had meetings actually based from Blackpool to Wales, which are quite big PIP centres actually, where they do all the assessments and reports, for staff to be prepared for an introduction to any benefit changes in April 2025. Now, vouchers were mentioned within these meetings, and as you can probably imagine, it's actually caused quite a bit of outcry, especially with DWP staff. The majority of them themselves do not want vouchers to be introduced. They know if that's the case, then unfortunately it is the final nail in the coffin for disabled people. And that is the truth, okay? Be surprised because it sounds surprising, but a lot of DWP staff actually are on your side in this particular instance, okay? They know that it's going to cause a lot of problems It's going to cause unnecessary deaths in the UK, which it will, and it's a money-making scheme. And not only that, it will also mean that a lot of staff that work in the back offices at the DWP will lose their jobs. They'll be out of a job, they can't afford to feed their families, and if they then can't get a job, where do they fall? Straight back on the unemployment line and the benefit line, which then adds further problems to the current stretched benefit system in the UK. So it's a vicious circle. So I just want to recap my points on this, okay? Yes, PIP vouchers are still being mentioned, and unfortunately there is no way around that. They are in the background, they are being discussed. I have no control over this. Other YouTube channels have no control over this, despite the fact of the evidence that they're putting up and what they're telling you. Unfortunately, sometimes it's not correct. Sometimes it's not factual, okay? I'm only giving you the information that comes to me directly from the source. And again, there's been multiple sources that have said this to me. Now, unfortunately, I can't get them on camera. I would love to. I've not got their permission to actually put their text, if you like, or email on the screen. If they want to reach out and let me do that, I will more than happily provide you information and evidence if they accept it. But of course, it is up to them. I will protect their identities because I don't believe in snitches snitches do get stitches, but I won't snitch on them because that's not fair. At the end of the day, someone's just doing their job. And I know that sounds awkward and horrible, but they are just doing their job, alright? It's as simple as that. Same as I'm doing my job right now by reporting it to you. So I would like to apologise if any offence has been caused from the previous video or any miscommunication, shall we say. But just go back, re-watch it, please recap, re-listen, and again, as horrible as it sounds, I know, I don't want to cause any offence, but a lot of people do get a bit muddled up and a bit confused, due to could be their illness, disability, and again, we're not calling you out on that at all, but if you don't understand something, ask the question, but ask it in a polite way. There's been quite a lot of an aggressive stance and aggressive approach again towards not only myself on the channel, but members of the community that we've got that actually reach out to help you. So just show a little bit of respect where you can, guys. That's all I'm asking. As per usual, if anything does change or pops up, I will be the first, hopefully, to let you know. I will happily report on it. I'll give you all the information, preferably factual information that I can. But like I've said, if you are a whistleblower or you do work for the DWP and you want to reach out to me, the contact details are literally on the channel, You can do that. You can provide any information or evidence if you wish, and it will be held in the utmost of secrecy, and your ID will be protected. So, hope I've covered it. Unfortunately, like I've said, it doesn't mean that they are not going to happen, and I say that with a pinch of salt, unfortunately. My personal feelings, are they going to happen? At this present time, no. I don't think they will. However, I cannot predict the future, and let's be quite frank, the Labour Party have had more U-turns than the Titanic did. They physically change their minds every single week on a product or an idea, so that's not to say that they won't go ahead with it. It's just that it is a big, great, unknown area that no one knows about. So, and as fortunate as that sounds, it's the truth. We must go on. Life must go on. We must continue. So, thank you for watching. If you're new here, consider liking, subscribing. It massively helps the channel grow. We've got a target aim of 20k by next year, so hopefully we get to 20k. I appreciate it if you could, push us up there. Any comments down below, let me know. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If not, I'm sure one of the other members or community channel guide members, mods, will be able to respond to you. So, have a great weekend or week ahead, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.